Feels a bit weird doing a summer TBR when it's pouring with rain outside, but we're going to give it our best shot. I'm here today to talk about my summer TBR. I actually recorded this last week and I did 5 different takes of it, and for some reason each single time either got wiped or had some sort of bizarre background crackling noise, or I don't even know what was going on. So I decided that I would try again a different day, and that's what we're doing now. So these are the books that I'm hoping to have read by the end of summer, and chances are there will be some other books that'll get mixed in with them as well because, you know, books, I can't resist. But I have 6 books that I want to get read this summer, and so in no particular order, I'm just going to go through them right now. And the first one is this one, The Women of the Castle. I hauled this in my last book haul and I can't wait to get round to it. It's a fiction about a woman whose husband was involved in an assassination attempt on Adolf Hitler in the Second World War, but it failed and he was murdered, and so she's hunting down the wives of the fellow resistors because she promised to keep them all safe. And so they all gather together in this castle, and from what I've gathered there are some secrets to be revealed, and they're all sort of fighting their own internal battles, and it sounds really interesting. And also, I know it's by the by, but I really love the cover of this. I like sort of the shiny embossed writing there, and the gloomy castle picture, which I really like too. So everything about this just seems like something I'd enjoy. I apologise about the lighting, it's getting darker and darker, but it has rained all day and it has rained for the last few days, and so this is the best lighting I've got until I can afford some fancy lighting equipment. The next one I'm going to talk about is this one, An Almond for a Parrot. I also hold this one in my latest haul, and this is a historical novel about a woman who's now on trial for murder. She grew up in the slums of London, and she has been working in a high-class brothel from what I gather, and something's gone down where now she's on trial for murder and she's sort of got to trade her secrets to get herself safe. It sounds intriguing. I really love historical novels. I like anything with a little bit of mystery, so I can't hit myself in the face with it. So I can't wait to get round to reading this one. And also, this is yet another beautiful cover. Look at that. It is absolutely stunning, and that is An Almond for a Parrot. The next one I'm going to talk about is this one, Becoming by Laura Jane Williams. Now, I'm not sure if this is Becoming Laura Jane Williams or whether it's Becoming by Laura Jane Williams. I'm not quite sure because both the words are on there, and there's no by in there, so yeah. Anyway, this is a non-fiction, and it's about a woman who thought she was going to get married, but the man that she thought he was going to marry her, he dumps her and marries her best friend, and that sends her into a downward spiral of drinking too much, partying too much, and she finally decides that enough is enough, and from what I gather she goes on some sort of a road trip, and she ends up deciding to have a year of celibacy, and this is her journey. And I'm really interested in this. I like a good non-fiction book, and it's been a while since I read a non-fiction, so I'm going to read this pretty soon. Speaking of non-fiction, we've got this one next, which is Girlver. I'm purposely covering it. It's a little bit obscene, and this is, I'm just going to put it down so I can continue talking about it without waving this obscene cover around. But Girlver is a true story, and it was featured in my Women in Pornography video a few videos back, I think. And it's basically it's a memoir of a woman who worked in pornography, but she is called Oriana Small, or aka Ashley Blue. Ashley Blue, I think is a porn name. I can't remember which one's a porn name and which one's a real name, but it's Oriana Small, aka Ashley Blue. And so she is a girl who gets into the porn industry, obviously, and she ends up in gonzo porn, I think it's called, which is the more hardcore pornography, and I have read that before, and I found it a really interesting read, and it was also really horrific. It's a sort of read that leaves you feeling a bit traumatised after you've read it, but also informed, and for some reason I'm drawn to read it again, so I'm going to get round to reading that one again this year. The next book that I've got is this one, The Stranger in My Home by Adele Parks. I love Adele Parks. I've read, I think, all the rest of the books that she's got out. I'm pretty sure I've read most of them anyway. And so when I saw this one, I couldn't resist it. It was on the shelf in Morrison's and I could not help myself. It's about a woman who's got a perfect life. She's got a husband that she loves and she's got a perfect daughter. But then one day someone knocks at her door and tells her that her daughter isn't actually her daughter. And the daughter that she brought home doesn't belong to her. So I'm guessing that they were switched at birth or something like that. So this sounds like it could go either way. It could be a thriller, it could be a women's fiction. I'm not quite sure. Normally Adele Parks writes women's fiction, and so I'm assuming it's going to be the same sort of thing, but like I said, the cover, I don't know, the cover's a little bit ambiguous. I'm not sure whether it's a thriller or whether it's a women's fiction, but we'll find out. But it sounds intriguing, and it sounds like the sort of thing that would absolutely rip your life to shreds, and so obviously I'm interested. And the final book that I'm hoping to have read this summer is this one, Day 4 by Sarah Lotz. This is about a group of people who are on a cruise, and on day 4 of the cruise the engines fail, everything shuts down and a virus starts running through the ship. And from what I gather, it's some sort of either apocalyptic sort of horror situation on board, and we find out what happens on day 4. So it says 3 days in heaven, the 4th is going to be hell. And yeah, I mean, it sounds like the sort of perfect setting for a horrible event, if that makes sense, and without making myself sound too creepy, but everybody's stranded on a boat in the middle of nowhere with no power. It does sound pretty scary. So yeah, Day 4 by Sarah Lotz. So there we go, those are the books that I'm hoping to have read this summer, and I really hope that this is recorded, because if it hasn't, I'm going to give up and get a different day job. So I will speak to you all next time. Bye for now.